This video isn't a hug, it's not a pat on the back, and it's definitely not some let's talk about our feelings bullshit. We're not here to make excuses for women's drama, hand out flowers to someone who only gives you thorns, or try to win back a woman who's already torn you apart from the inside out. If you're still stuck on, but I love her, hit pause right now and go back to your doormat life. This is for the guy who's had his soul crushed to dust, who's gotten down on his knees for someone who spit on the ground he walked on, and now he's ready to stand the hell up. What you're about to learn isn't some flirty game to get her back. It's a cold, silent, almost clinical strategy that turns your absence into her punishment. And the key part, she has no way to fight it. Only watch if you've got the guts. Because from here on out, it's emotional warfare. And you're gonna learn how to win without raising your voice. Picture this scene. Nighttime. Dead quiet. A car pulled over. And a guy with his phone in hand typing out one last message. Sorry if I hurt you. He reads it. Takes a deep breath. Deletes it. Types again. I just want to talk. Deletes that too. He doesn't realize it, but he's already lost. Because just wanting to be understood is proof he's a prisoner of his own damn heart. And that's where this method comes in. The one you're about to discover. It turns that guy into something she can't handle. A man who doesn't need her to feel like he's worth a damn. A man who doesn't react, who doesn't explain, who doesn't justify, who goes silent, and watches her crumble under the weight of the void he left behind. Every guy who's loved too hard ends up in ashes, not because of the love, but because he bent over backward. The problem was never the heart, it was the reaction. Women test you, they push boundaries. They shove you until you're on your knees, just to see if you'll get up or crawl. And the worst part? If you crawl, she loses interest. It's brutal, I know. But that's exactly how it works. While you're out there proving you're a good guy, that you're different, that you deserve her, she's already slotted you in as just another one. And that's where this method is born. A code of conduct that doesn't chase affection, doesn't beg for acceptance, doesn't seek understanding. It only goes after one thing, silent respect. The kind you don't ask for, you demand. And when you use this method, she's got no defense. Because her only weapon was always your response. And you, stop responding. You want to know why most guys walk around looking like they've been kicked in the teeth? I'll lay it out for you. From the time they're kids, they're taught that their worth is all about making her happy. Boom. There's the poison dressed up as wisdom. You grow up thinking being a good man means being emotionally whipped. That the more you give, the more she'll love you. If she's pissed, it's your job to fix it. If she cries, you're to blame. If she goes cold, you weren't affectionate enough. And guess what happens? You become her project. A half-finished mess she's always trying to improve. A trained pet that rolls over every time she threatens tears. That's not love. That's control. The issue isn't just what she does to you. It's what you let yourself become. Deep down, every guy still chasing a woman who ghosts him believes her love is some kind of trophy. That if he tries just a little harder, he'll get the gold star. Perfect guy. But the truth is different. She doesn't want perfect. She wants unattainable. She wants the man she can't predict, can't manipulate, can't read like a book. And there you are, sending heartfelt novels over text, thinking it'll melt the heart of someone who only toys with yours. The root of your weakness, brother, is emotional. You still think showing up fixes everything. That talking it out convinces her. That tears move her. They don't. You know what does? The silence of a guy who's done being the punchline. The absence of someone who finally gets that begging is just humiliating yourself. The chill of a man who realizes that while you're scraping for crumbs, she's smirking at the dude who never asked for a thing. While you're trying to prove you're different, she shelves you with the predictable ones. While you're playing the nice guy, she files you under dudes she uses and forgets. Yeah, women move on quick from guys who feel too much, but they never forget the one who shut up at the right moment. And there you go, clinging to this romantic fantasy that being understanding is the key. But you know what being too understanding is? It's being an accomplice to your own emotional castration. It's watching your own downfall. You weren't born to live off excuses. You were born to be a man, and a man who bends breaks, Always has, always will. Now hold on to this. Everything you put up with in the name of love, she sees as fear. Fear of losing her. Fear of being alone. Fear of not being loved. And where there's fear, respect dies. Admiration vanishes. What's left is just a guy she knows she can twist anytime she wants. A yes ma'am with a clean shave. An emotional GPS set to please mode. Want to break the cycle? First, own it. The problem isn't her. It's you letting yourself get trained like a lapdog. It's you trading respect for cuddles. It's you swapping dignity for scraps of attention. It's you thinking being a pushover was a virtue and turning into her emotional guinea pig. But chill, you can flip this. But to flip it, you've got to kill off that character you built. The too good guy, the always available one, the emotional wreck, the one obsessed with her feelings. Because that dude is the one she destroys while laughing inside. Let's get real now. You really think she falls for the guy who texts good morning at 7 a.m. sharp every day? The one who asks if she's eaten lunch? The fool sending virtual flowers on some made-up anniversary that hasn't even started? Wake up. She doesn't crave what she gets. She doesn't value what she owns. And above all, she doesn't respect what she can predict. The female mind runs on something simple but slick as hell when it comes to testing. And the test is sneaky. It's emotional. It's ruthless. Not because she's evil, but because she needs to know, is this guy controllable? How does she find out? By pissing you off. By poking you. By ignoring you. By turning you inside out just to see if you'll snap. And you, of course, snap. Because you still buy into the idea that if she's cold, you've got to warm her up. If she's distant, you've got to close the gap. If she's acting weird, you've got to ask, you okay? Congrats, you fell for it. Again, let me break down something no one has the balls to tell you. The more you try to soothe a woman who's testing you, the more she feels in charge. And the more in charge she feels, the less attracted she is to you. Why? Because female desire is unbalanced by design. It's chaos looking for a wall, not a pillow. When you start being predictable, reactive, and too damn available emotionally, she starts seeing you as shelf stock, useful, nice, and boring as hell. Your presence becomes routine. Your affection becomes expected. Your care becomes smothering. Your love becomes a burden. Not because you screwed up, but because you forgot the golden rule of her desire. She only misses the guy who doesn't beg for her attention. You want to know what really flips her switch? A man who doesn't flinch at rejection, who doesn't change his tone because she's in a mood, who doesn't explain himself because she pouts, who doesn't ask why she vanished, he just vanishes better, who doesn't try to convince her to stay. He just shows that his absence hits harder than any sappy essay she could write. But don't kid yourself. She'll test you. Always. Pretend she doesn't care. Try to rile you up, throw shade, post cryptic pics, laugh with others right in your face. Say, you've changed. And what do? Nothing. That's right. Zip. Because every test she throws is just her desperate grab to reclaim the control she had when you were still her emotional clown. Women don't crave peace, they crave impact. And the impact that disarms her most is realizing the guy who once cried over her now looks at her with indifference. The one who used to explain everything now just watches in silence. The one she manipulated with a single tear now doesn't budge at the whole damn show. And that's where the magic kicks in. When she sees she can't touch you anymore, she starts wanting you again. Not for what you do, but for what you stopped letting her get away with. Your new silence speaks louder than any love declaration. Your chill screams more than any yell she's ever thrown. And then she spirals, because she lost control of the one place she thought she was unbeatable. Your head. There's a moment. A precise point. A split-second snap. So quiet it's devastating. No background music. No motivational speech. No applause. It's just you. Standing there. Staring into space. finally getting how much bullshit you've swallowed in the name of love. It's when you're too exhausted to cry, too cold to argue, too dead inside to keep explaining. It's when you finally realize you've become her emotional employee and she never paid a dime in respect for the work you put in. How does this moment hit? In the quiet. After another fight where you tried yet again to prove you weren't the bad guy. After another sleepless night where she rolled over and pretended you weren't there. After another pointless attempt to fix it, to understand, to make it work. And then, in the emptiness, it clicks. There's no talking to someone who's already decided you're the issue. The breaking point isn't when she leaves. It's when you realize she's been gone emotionally for ages, and you stayed there, trying to hold on to her with pretty words, worthless gifts, and apologies for shit you didn't even do. Congrats. You became a caricature. A tamed, trained, predictable man. And the worst, you didn't even notice. But then it happens. You hear yourself talking, see yourself chasing, listen to yourself begging for another shot, and the shame wakes you up. Your soul rises from the grave, and you feel this mix of rage and clarity slicing through you like an ice-cold blade. What the fuck am I doing to myself? There. From that point on, brother, no turning back. The awakened man doesn't yell, he doesn't fight, he doesn't write essays, he doesn't try to prove shit. He just gets up from the emotional table and stops playing. Because he sees the game was always hers, her rules, her board. And he was just there trying not to get tossed. And still, he did. The breaking point is harsh, but it's essential. It's the death of the romantic fool and the birth of the real man. The one who doesn't love out of need, doesn't cling out of loneliness, and knows no one will respect you more than you respect yourself. And if you're always bending to keep someone around, don't be shocked when she treats you like a doormat. The awakened man sees everything with brutal clarity. Every manipulated compliment, every calculated silence, every emotional meltdown used as blackmail. He sees the whole game, and seeing it, he refuses to play again. This is what separates the weak from the dangerous, the deluded from the cold, the beggars from the ghosts. And when you cross that line, you never come back. Because once you see who she is without the masks, you can't feel the same anymore. Now that you're awake, the blinders are off. Her little act has lost its charm. It's time for the big one. You've got to become what she can't beat. And no, it's not a player. Not an asshole. Not cold for kicks. It's worse. It's a man who doesn't get rattled anymore. A man who, when he hears emotional threats, hits back with silence, spots blackmail and ignores it, sees drama and watches like it's a bad play. That's the method, and it's straightforward. Calculated, chill, surgical, silent, bulletproof. But before you dive in, get this. This isn't a game. It's not to make her chase you. This is to reclaim the emotional control she stripped from you bit by bit, with that "I'm just being honest" face, while shredding your manhood with every test you failed. Chill isn't an attack tool, it's armor. And the only way it fails is if you crack your own silence out of weakness. Chill isn't ignoring on a whim. It's genuinely not giving a fuck. It's hearing, "Aren't you gonna say something?" and staying quiet. It's seeing her fish for attention and treating her like any stranger on the street. Because that's what she becomes when she loses power. Just another trying to poke without results. And what does that do to her? Panic. Chill is not twitching when she switches tones. It's locking eyes, watching the whole performance and thinking, "Seen this script before, just swapped the lead actor." Chill is knowing that while she thinks she's punishing you with distance, you're celebrating the peace of not propping up her emotional circus where you're always the villain. And here's the crucial bit. Chill isn't faking tough. It's truly not needing her approval anymore, not waiting for the "hey," not hoping for the "I miss you," not falling for the "just wanted to talk" trap. Chill is having zero unfinished business inside with that woman. None. She can cry, beg, accuse you of everything, try to flip the script, call you cruel, cold, heartless. And you just watch, because you've learned, feel too much, bleed too much, and you've bled enough to know some women don't want love. They want dominance, and you ain't dominable anymore. That's the core, the essence, the foundation. Chill isn't to make her hurt. It's to stop you from hurting over someone who never hesitated to screw you over. Because when she sees the guy who used to cry for her now looking bored, that's when she knows she lost. And this time, no coming back. Now we're at the part that separates talk from action. Because chill, brother, isn't about knowing what to do. It's about doing it when every fiber of you screams to do the opposite. When your soul begs to chase, and you choose to stay put. When loneliness throbs, and you pick silence. When you want to reply, and you shut up. This ain't pride, it's self-mastery. It's the new you, the one who figured out the only way to win the game is to step off the board. Let's break it down, step by step. No shortcuts, no fluff. Each one is a blade to cut out the emotions she trained you to feel. Step 1, zero response to emotional pokes. She'll prod you, post shade, pretend she's happy with someone else, drop passive-aggressive lines just to see if you'll bite. You feel it all, but show nothing. She says, "You've changed," and you smirk inside. Yeah, you have. Changed priorities, and she's off the list. Step 2, surgical cuts to access, not presence. You don't have to vanish off the earth. Just vanish from doormat duty. Stay around where you have to work, social circles, family. But emotionally, closed, canceled, out of order. She tries small talk, give the bare minimum. And that's it. No flair, no emojis, no lol. Your new vibe is dry, cold, functional. Step 3, ditch the excuses. Silence is the new answer. She'll demand explanations. Why are you like this? You weren't always this way. What did I do to you? And you? Nada. Because the best way to show she lost is to stop explaining. You're not her drama character anymore. You're a mirror that stopped reflecting what she wanted. Step 4, slash the predictability. You always texted at night? Not anymore. Always replied in 3 minutes. Now you reply when you feel like it, if at all. Always took her invites. Now you've got other shit going on. The routine that made you predictable gets shattered. And she, who thought she had the reins, starts wondering if she affects you at all. Step 5, calculated reactions. Never knee-jerk. She yells, you speak soft. She pulls away, you stay steady. She threatens to bounce, you hold the door. You don't react like a wounded animal. You operate like an emotional war tactician. Cold, unshakable, lethal. Because now, every move is deliberate. She gets no access to your feels, just your facade. Step 6, the inner ritual. She's not the judge. You're not on trial. This one's key. Every time you want to explain, prove something, please, chase. Remember, she's not the center of the universe. She's not the truth holder. She's not your worth meter. She's just a woman. One of many. And you're now a man who doesn't judge himself by the eyes of someone who dragged you down. Executing this method takes discipline, ice in your veins, clarity, and above all, self-awareness, because she'll feel the cut. Notice she lost power and react. Try to reel you back. Come at you with love, hate, drama, nostalgia, but you don't follow her script anymore. The chill method isn't revenge. It's emotional sovereignty. It's you finally stopping being her puppet and becoming a mystery she can't crack. And women can't stand a mystery without the key. And you are the new lock. You know why this method packs such a punch? Because it hits the weakest spot of any woman who thought she ran the show, her ego. And a woman's ego, man, is more spoiled than a kid in a candy store. It's used to an audience, instant reactions, guys explaining everything, crying, chasing, apologizing for breathing wrong. And suddenly, the curtain drops. The show's over. The crowd leaves, and she's left on stage alone, wondering, where's the drama I stirred up? A woman has no defense against real chill, because her game relies on your reaction. If you yell, she flips it. If you beg, she twists it. If you try to understand, she warps it. But if you go silent, the game freezes. Freezes because she doesn't know what card to play next. No one to duel. No way to knock you off balance. And that's when she glitches. Real chill isn't punishment, it's a clean break. And the break that bleeds a manipulative woman most isn't physical or verbal. It's the emotional slice of indifference. When she calls and you don't turn. When she pokes and you don't flinch. When she ghosts and you don't even notice. To her, that's torture. It's the collapse of control, because the whole emotional empire she built on your affection crumbles. She tested you, remember? Toyed with your feelings. Pulled you close, then pushed away. Criticized, then stroked your ego. It was the emotional roller coaster with no seatbelt. And now you've stepped off the ride. Feet on the ground, calm, solid, while she's still trying to shove you back on. And you just watch, with that look of someone who's seen the trick. She has no defense against a man who doesn't justify anymore. Who doesn't need acceptance. Who isn't scared of the void. Because that man is unpredictable, impenetrable, uncontrollable. And women can't handle what they can't control. It's like handing a locked phone to a toddler. She presses, and when it won't open, she throws a fit. You become that. A system she can't hack. What comes next? Desperation dressed as sweetness. She'll smile more. Pretend she's changed. Start chats. Compliment you. Ask if you still feel something. But underneath, pure panic. Because she realizes she lost the man she shaped. And in his place, a rock. Cold. Solid. Unbreakable. And here's the cherry on top. She'll tell everyone you changed. That you're cold now. That you're different. And you'll grin. Because the only thing worse than being dumped is being forgotten. And you weren't either. You became unreachable. And that, she can't deal with. Ah, the meltdown. This is the sweetest part. Not because you schemed it, but because she's reaping what she sowed. After all those tests, pokes, calculated silences, pouts, and dramatic exits, she finally tastes what you did. The emptiness. The difference? You got over it. She hasn't. At first, she swears she's fine. Fakes superiority. Posts pics with shady captions. Likes memes about being unbothered. Tries to convince herself you were just another even, though she knows you poured your soul into keeping it alive. But as days drag on, something nags. Because unlike the others, you didn't crawl back. And to her, that's unbearable. The meltdown starts subtle. First, she checks if you saw her stuff. Then, if you're still following. Next, blocks you, just to see if you'll react. When the silence holds, she flips, unblocks, starts a lame chat. Hey, you know where that jacket I left is? Jacket? Sure. The classic emotional jacket she used to warm up when she needed, and left you freezing otherwise. But you now see the game. And opt out. She feels it. Feels it because for the first time, she has no emotional grip on a guy she tested till he broke. And now that you don't shake, she freaks. Her meltdown isn't loud. It's quiet. It's her waking up at 3 a.m. wanting to text, but pride freezing her fingers. It's hearing a song and remembering your chill, not your warmth. It's catching herself scrolling old chats, trying to pinpoint when she lost the upper hand. And the answer's simple. She lost it when you stopped proving you were enough. And brace yourself. She'll spin the story. Say you're numb, that you're the issue, that you never knew how to love. Try to make you doubt your growth. Why? Because if she convinces you your chill is wrong, she drags you back under her thumb. But you don't fall anymore. She melts down not because she lost you, but because she sees she can't destroy you anymore. And that's the pain no woman can take, watching the guy she thought was easy to break turn into an emotional stone, a riddle, a wall where all her games bounce off and hit the dirt. By now, you might be thinking, this method works, but why is it so hard to stick with? And I'll hit you with the truth no one wants, because it hurts like hell. And not that dramatic movie-style pain with a soundtrack. It's that dry, silent, choking ache, the pain of denying what you want, because you know caving in means your own ruin. Chill comes at a price. It demands you look at the face of the woman you still love and say with your eyes, "You won't run me anymore." Demands you hear "I miss you" and reply with "I did too till I didn't." Demands you endure her silence without chasing. Except the text might never come, the call won't happen, and you'll survive anyway. Why do most guys bail on chill? Because deep down they still hope. Hope that if they're cold enough she'll return. Hope the absence works. Hope one day she'll say, "I see your worth now." But real chill hopes for nothing. No backup plan, no ulterior motive. Just one goal. Guard what's left of your dignity. And that's where 99% flop. Because when she shows signs of missing you, they drop the guard. When she posts something vague, they text. When she hits with, "Hey stranger," they bite with, "I've been waiting." And boom, back to the old loop. Her ego wins. Respect dies. And the guy who almost broke free locks himself up again. Want to stand out? Learn this. Real chill isn't pretend. It's overcoming. Not playing her game. It's quitting because you saw the deck was stacked. And yeah, it'll isolate you. Leave you feeling hollow. Hurt seeing her fake moving on fast. Seem unfair. But so what? The old you deserved respect. And you're the only one who can give it back. Chill isn't a switch you flip. It's a process, an inner rebuild, a daily choice not to return to the ashes. Because temptation will hit. She'll try to pull you, poke with memories, revive your needy side, and you'll have to face it all and choose you again and again and again. Most can't hack it, but those who do become legends. Because the world's full of guys who feel too much and react on impulse. But rare are those who feel and stay cold. Not from lack of emotion, but from too much awareness. And that's what she can't beat. So far, you might have thought chill is just a tool, a temp shield you hold till she crawls back. Wrong. That's still romance in disguise. Neediness, faking strength. The real power starts when chill stops being a strategy and becomes who you are. Because if it's just tactics, you're still hooked on her, still measuring effects, still watching signs, still reacting. But when chill becomes you, you don't calculate impact. You just are. You don't force distance. You don't crave closeness anymore. You don't set boundaries. Your vibe comes with them built in. And that's when shit shifts. She senses it. Can't explain, but feels it. You're not predictable anymore. Not shapeable. Not that programmable guy who jumped at her discomfort. Now you're a blind spot. A puzzle she can't solve. A silence she can't twist. You know chill's your identity when ditching approval stops hurting. When her absence brings relief, not anxiety. When you look back and feel shame, not longing. When you see her pulling the same old stunts and instead of anger, it's boredom. And more. When chill's real, you don't shut out the world. You shut out what weakens you. You keep living, mingling, growing, but now with filters, standards, zero tolerance for any one woman or otherwise trying to bend you emotionally. You're not the chaser anymore. You're the one walking solo, drawing in those with the emotional backbone to keep up without controlling. You don't beg attention. Don't grovel for replies. Don't text at midnight because you miss her. And if you do miss, you miss in silence. Because you get that breaking, it costs you pain. When chills your core, your energy changes. You don't talk much, but your gaze says it. I rose from the ashes, and I'm fireproof now. It scares some, repels others, but attracts the real. Because now only those who won't try to own you get close, and those who don't want control are usually worth it. The game flips. You leave the emotion field and enter sovereignty territory. You're not the reactor, you're the chooser. And no woman plays with a guy who ignores emotional commands. She might try, but when she sees she's solo on stage, either she rewrites the script or accepts the curtain call. You did the method, stuck to it, didn't bend, went silent when she expected rage, ghosted when she wanted a fight. And now the question haunting every guy who makes it this far. Okay, but what now? What happens? I'll give it to you straight and sharp. 2 outcomes and both are wins. Path 1, she adapts. Yeah, some women, when they see the games don't stick, switch up. Not out of love, out of survival instinct. She lost the reins. And in the panic of not getting dumped by someone she underrated, she acts different. Calmer, sweeter, more level-headed. She starts treating you like the man you are, not the puppet she pulled strings on. But don't fool yourself. This new her isn't natural. It's a reaction to your new you. And it only lasts if you hold the line. One slip, one backslide, one old need dressed as care, and it's back to chaos. If she changed, cool. But you keep that version by being yours. Path 2, she bounces. But isn't that a loss? Hell no. That's freedom. Because any woman who bolts when she loses control was never there for love. She was in for the power, the ego boost, the certainty you were hers. And when that fades, she does too. And guess what? Let her. Take the drama with her. The tests, the manipulation, the soap opera, the emotional load you carried like it was your fault. You didn't lose a woman. You ditched an emotional time bomb, and now you're light. Empty? Maybe. But finally with room to build something real, not a bond based on affection, blackmail, and weekly crises. The sting of losing a manipulator is always less than sticking around to get played. In either case, you won. Because what matters isn't her fate. It's yours. And you stopped being a hostage. Quit being the guy who answers everything, explains everything, begs everything. Now you're the one who demands, chooses, shuts up. And the silence of a man who's found himself drowns out any spoiled woman's yell. When chill becomes who you are, it doesn't just hit your relationships, it transforms everything. Your stance, your gaze, how you walk into a room, even the pauses between words. Because now you don't speak to please. You speak when there's something worth saying. And when you shut up, people notice. You see folks treating you different, not because you bark, but because your presence screams what your old neediness whispered. You don't chase anymore, and weirdly stuff starts coming to you. The respect you begged with gifts now hits with your silence's weight. The admiration you chased with niceness now comes with your vibe. Women who ghosted you now eye you warily. And men, listen up. Your circle shifts. Toxic friends fade. Sycophants vanish. Opportunists lose interest. And the weak call you arrogant. Because only those hooked on approval hate the ones who don't need it. You become a threat to the needy and a magnet for the real. That anxiety that ate you every time a woman took forever to reply, gone. Now you're too busy building your life, too focused on your goals, too cold to waste time on games. You don't ignore to provoke. You ignore because it doesn't matter. The peace from shutting up beats any impulsive "I miss you too." You realize life doesn't revolve around female approval. You weren't born to be anyone's emotional servant. Your purpose goes way beyond convincing a tester you're lovable, and that awareness spreads to your job, your body, your style, your walk, your look, your existence, and one more. The fear of being alone vanishes, because now you know the worst loneliness isn't solo. It's feeling small next to a woman who made you that way. And when that pain leaves, silence becomes relief. The empty room a sanctuary, and your own company, your greatest strength. Chill rebuilds your soul. It tears down the pleaser and builds a man who commands respect by respecting himself. And that man, brother, is the kind no woman can play. Everyone around feels it. He went through hell and came back changed. In the end, you didn't win by out-yelling or proving you were a good guy. You won by shutting up when everyone expected your reaction. By getting that real power isn't controlling others, it's mastering yourself. You didn't go cold from trauma. You went cold from insight. Because you finally saw the game was emotional. Her tests weren't about love. They were about power. And every man who bends, hands over the crown. You played, lost, shattered, bled, but returned. Not thirsty for payback, but for respect. Self-respect, non-negotiable. And now, you don't chase feeling loved. Because you saw that love without respect is just a humiliation deal with flowers on top. You don't beg presents. Because you get that silence from someone who doesn't value you is worth less than your peaceful solitude. You stopped explaining, stopped apologizing for existing, stopped justifying to someone who loved putting you in the wrong. And in that silence, you found the secret no relationship guru spills. She only respects the man she can't rattle. The real dangerous man isn't the yeller. He's the ghoster, not the threatener. He's the silencer, not the beggar. He's the watcher. Because in a world of emotional, reactive, validation-starved guys, the man who ghosts with chill becomes legend. And legends, brother, aren't replaced. They're regretted. You became that. An absence that weighs heavy. A memory that haunts. A name she won't say, but carries. A silence that echoes louder than all her "I'm fine" posts. And all because you finally stopped reacting. If you made it this far, something inside you already died. And maybe, for the first time, that's a blessing. The old you ain't coming back. And honestly, good riddance. Because he was easy to break, easy to hit, easy to use. Now, not anymore. Now you're the man she doesn't get, and that's why she fears you. And if this all hit home, if you get that silence is your new weapon, if every line in this video felt like a truth no one's had the guts to drop on you, then prove you're awake. Drop in the comments, "I'm the end of her emotional control," and never look back. Project Coldness. Go silent, vanish, and let her unravel in the doubt.